Hi guys, welcome back to Mackenzie in the Mind. This is Mackenzie. And this is...
It's Cullen.
It's Cullen. You may know him as...
Christoph.
Jack
Frost.
Anything on my
Mackenzie's boyfriend.
Mackenzie's real life on stage boyfriend is Sebastian, or... What was the other character? Lori?
Yeah.
Lori.
And
Little Women. That dog's just now going to decide to start barking.
Great. We get it. You're a dog.
We understand.
Don't have to tell us.
Yeah, like, what are you barking at? It's like 8 p.m. at night. So, there's no telling what we're going to talk about on this podcast. I've been home for almost 2 weeks, pretty much. And yeah, I'm here.
And I've been here.
And you've been here. And we went and saw a play last night
called The Mousetrap.
Which was...
It was...
entertaining.
You could say that.
Yeah. It was entertaining.
It was entertaining. It was,
We were never not bored.
There were times.
Yeah, that we knew who the murderer was.
Oh, yeah, like...
It was a murder mystery.
Yeah. So, I guess, there's really not much of a plot besides somebody dies
kills 2 people.
Yeah.
And the show opens up with the one person already being dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then... Yeah, I don't know why we're telling you about this, but then another person gets killed. Yeah, it's the longest running show.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that that's just like one of those things that people say, like, oh, it's the longest running.
Well, I thought the Fantastics was like...
That's the longest running musical.
Oh.
But that's like, Fantastics is still running. I don't think Mousetrap is running.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's Mousetrap running?
I don't see how that could be running anywhere. It's not a good script to begin with.
Yeah, the show. It's not a good script. Yeah.
There's just a lot of issues. Like, there just was a bunch of stuff that didn't make any sense.
And Chase had asked Kendall. Our friend's boyfriend was in the show, and I talked to my friend Chase, and he had asked his boyfriend if the ending was messed with at all. Sorry guys, this podcast is always either going to have a baby in the background or a dog in the background if I'm filming from Louisiana. The good thing about California is there's never going to be any cats or noises or anything.
Really? I would think the opposite.
You think they would be like making noises and stuff? My cats are like silent. They're mutes.
That's good.
Yeah, they're mutes.
You don't want like a meowing cat in the background all the time.
My cats would never meow.
That would make me insane.
Yeah, unless they like really need something. But anyways, he asked his boyfriend if they had like messed with the ending of it, because the thing was, okay, so like in the show The Mousetrap, not gonna give too much away, but well, other than the fact that the inspector who comes to like investigate or whatever is actually the murderer, and he's
like an insane murderer.
He's like this insane angry guy.
It's so weird because like he's normal up until the point that he like turns a gun on one of the I think she was like the hostess of the party,
like the wife that like ran this bed and breakfast sort of thing.
And like he's normal until he pulls this gun out, and then all of a sudden like goes crazy insane, like it's like crazy eyes. And
yeah,
it's just written weirdly. It's just written
and then
be a murder mystery. It's not.
But then she like convinces him not to shoot her.
Yeah, and then it's all happy and
me as a writer in that moment when she said like, "Don't shoot me," like that revolver is gonna make noise and then you're gonna get caught. I was hoping he was gonna say good, so then I can kill everyone else. That's what I was hoping.
Or like just straight out shoot her in the show there, like
right,
just
like
pull the gun out, bang,
and then like cut
out.
her line. Yeah, that's what we said. Like he should have just like pulled the gun out and the lights should have gone out and like heard a shotgun. Like if you want a good murder mystery, that's what should have happened. We're not blaming the theater company or anything that put it on. It's a bad script.
It's hard to build something off of a bad foundation.
Yeah.
The script
was bad because then this guy's like long lost sister out of nowhere walks in.
Well, the long lost sister was one of the patrons at this bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And so like we knew about her, and then like within these last like couple of minutes of the show, it's like everything like gets turned around because this one other character reveals that he was a policeman.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And then we're like, what? I didn't realize that Kendall was the policeman until the phone call today with Chase.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, he was... Oh.
Yeah, they don't make that very clear. They don't make anybody's characters clear.
Yeah, Chase blamed Kendall's mic, or he blamed it on Kendall's mic being messed up. I was like, still.
One line was said about him being a policeman.
Yeah, I was like, nothing was communicated. It was just a bad script, but...
It was just like the author was just like, oh, we just need them to say one line about this, and that's done. Okay, we can move on to the next character.
Right, and then like... What was crazy was then they kind of like shooed the crazy guy off the stage. His sister like pulls him off, and she's like, he's gonna get help now.
Like he just had this gun to a woman's forehead, and they're just like, oh, it's okay, he'll be fine. He's gonna go to a safe place. Like, no, he murdered 2 people and almost murdered a third. Like,
right, and
get him out of here.
And then like right after that, the 2 characters, like the wife who had the gun to her head and the husband, like totally forget about the situation, or not traumatized at all. This is all abiding by the script. Like, are not traumatized at all. And then they're like, it was our anniversary. Here's the gift I got you. Here's the gift I got you. And then the one guy comes out and he's like, your kitchen smoking or something.
And then she's like, my pie, and then it goes blackout. It's like the most weird ending to a show.
It was like
ever. Like it gave no
there was no feeling.
There's no feeling. Yeah, like the writer was just like, the audience doesn't matter. Like
the audience will accept this very
just
Christian washed ending. Not like, that there's anything being
everybody
wrong
ends
with
up happy, even though we killed 2 people. Like, no, it's all good.
Yeah, like it's fine. Like this guy's obviously like, oh, and then they were saying that he had schizophrenia, which that
was never addressed.
Which was never addressed, like them being like,
because we also thought like another character had schizophrenia,
but he was just like,
but he was just weird.
He was just annoying. Like, sorry to those people that are watching this or listening to this that were a part of this. But honestly, again, the script was just bad.
Yeah, it's just.
It should have ended with him with like, if I ever write a murder mystery,
it could have ended in so many different ways that would have been so much better.
Yeah, and more satisfying.
Yeah, for the audience.
Right, like at least like shock the audience.
Yeah, like something that would have actually like given us an ending and like.
Right, because we're filming this podcast on October 28th, so this is a little while before you guys will actually hear this, but. People do murder mysteries around the time of Halloween, but like, if you really want to scare somebody, like, pull the gun out and then point it, and that reveals who the murderer is, and then the light will go out.
Yeah. Like, don't try to explain, like...
Don't try to explain 25% and leave the 75% of the show.
Yeah, like, explain all of it or explain nothing. Like... Because explaining nothing is perfectly fine, because then it's up to the audience to like create the story and like think about it after. But like if you only explain like 25%, which they really did, because they only explained a few characters' motivations and throughout the whole show, then it's just like, what about the other people? Like, what's the point? Like, what was the point of us sitting here for 3.5 hours or 2.5 hours connecting with these characters, and then you just give us nothing?
Right, like.
It just felt like it was kind of pointless.
I'm like, even the day after seeing it, I'm still just so like, what?
It's kind of like it was unaffecting so much that it affected me on how much it didn't affect me.
Yeah, like
I wanted to care about these characters, but I just couldn't, because the way that they were written, or at least the way that they portrayed them, like through direction, was just. They didn't act like actual human beings.
Right, like the show didn't seem very realistic.
No,
even though like it was set in the late 40s, it was in London or wherever, it was in England.
They were all just they were all caricatures. Like,
right, stereotypes.
Yeah, they're all just stereotypes. Like the weird foreigner was one character that had like an accent that you couldn't place, and there was just a gay guy that was really weird and had this one scene where he went normal, but that was never explained. And then they had this other character that was they had a couple characters that just were quiet and just never really made any, like the one that got murdered at the end of Act 1. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. The like most unlikable character is like this mean old woman
that like is like super entitled and
like it's just like mean.
Yeah,
she's just like unlikable.
She just gets killed off in the first at the end of the first act, and it's like, oh, I didn't really care about her as a person.
Right, and even Chase was like, oh well, you know, that was because like she had to be unlikable because like we didn't want you to feel bad when she was killed. And I was like, no,
make me feel bad.
Like, make me feel bad.
Kill off the wife that
right, like,
we've lived up to this point. Like,
I thought they would kill off the wife. I wanted them to kill off the wife. I was like, it makes more sense to kill off somebody I like.
Kill off somebody that you're actually connected. Like, that's what will kill somebody. Is like,
just such a bad script.
Like, there was so many different ways that the script could have been written,
right?
And it was like the author was like, "Oh, that's an interesting idea. Let's go the opposite way and be boring."
It
like,
almost seemed like there was like multiple writers, and they all couldn't agree on an ending.
Well, it seemed like they took like a murder mystery book, turned it into a play, and just cut out everything interesting.
Right.
And just wrote this play just to be
a murder mystery. Like,
yeah, just like a bunch of just red herrings. Like, oh, you think it's this person. Oh no, you're gonna think it's this person. Oh no, we're gonna make you think that it's this person.
Yeah, and it's just kind
of boring. Like, it was just constantly back and forth of like, these people are acting weird, but why are they acting weird? It was never explained.
Like, there was nothing explained because actually those people were all innocent.
Yeah.
So what?
Why were they acting like they were the murderer? Like,
right, like, I don't know how many minutes we are into talking about this, but like, but like, honestly, like, this was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, it
didn't seem like it really had a point. Like, it was just,
yeah, like what? I bet that would be really hard to act in. Like, as much as we said, like,
yeah, like, because a script gives you nothing about character besides, this is a weird foreigner, this is a gay character, this is a mean old lady.
Right, but is the gay character even really gay?
Like, yeah, like, that was a bunch of questions.
He was just very flamboyant. Like,
yeah, he was just weird. And
right.
Like, there was this weird sexual energy between him and the husband, and then it switched over to the wife, and then
there was like this other random woman who was
like super sexual, but it was never
addressed. Like,
yeah,
I think they were all just like moments that were supposed to like encapsulate us as an audience, and then like there was no information given to us. Like, nothing. I saw Blade Runner. Did you see Blade Runner? Mm-mm. And
I've been awful about seeing movies. Like, I haven't seen it.
I don't really see anything.
I haven't seen Blade Runner.
It was worth seeing for sure. And like, just solely visually, everyone was like, "Go see it. It's beautiful." But I only saw Blade Runner because I'm the biggest Jared Leto fan. Well, not the biggest, but like, I'm anything he's in, I don't care what it is, I'll go see it. And I went and saw it. He was hardly in it. I am not the biggest Ryan Gosling fan. He gets really annoying to me after a while.
Really?
Yeah, I know. When I say that to everybody, they're like, "What? Why? He's good." But like, after I see his face for so long, I'm like, all I see is The Notebook, and I'm just and I'm just like, I'm just waiting for like a Southern accent to come out. Like same thing with Matthew McConaughey.
Or like him just gonna start tap dancing like in La La Land or something.
Right, but see, I never saw La La Land.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So. That's kind of funny because it's set in LA. Like, it's a very LA kind of.
Well, that's why
thing.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will. And my bad thing is like, I don't know if Chase will ever listen to this, but we're name dropping him a lot. But like, Chase, if you guys don't know who Chase is, I have a video on this channel of me and him singing "Just Don't Give Me a Reason." Yeah, that's the only song we've sung together. We did Take Me or Leave Me, but I sound horrible on it, so like no, the world would never hear that. But Chase, I listen to Chase so much about film when it comes to seeing what movies to go see, and he was like, I hated La La Land, like whatever.
I liked it. It was
Thomas loved it, and like Thomas like got in a debate with him about it.
It was.
I think Thomas did. I think Thomas, yeah, he did. He was like, I don't understand, like, what your point is. Like, and Chase's argument was like, well, LA just, like, loves, like, sucking its own blank. And
well, I mean, yeah, but, like, that's why it was so popular.
Yeah.
People, like, that's
LA
why.
is Hollywood. Like,
that's why it won so many awards, because, you know, it's Hollywood is going to want stuff about Hollywood. Right.
No, I think it was definitely time for a movie like La La Land. I still haven't seen it. I'm ready to see it when the hype of it is over.
It's a very interesting movie just to watch for like the different
artists, right?
Yeah, like
that's what I heard.
It's fun artistically because it like the costume design is really fun. The lighting design is really nice. I like a couple years ago, this movie called I think it was The Artist came out, and it was a black and white silent film. Okay. And it won like a bunch of awards. Okay. But it was really fun because it's like this film that took a lot of inspiration from old Hollywood stuff. I love old Hollywood, and it like was the perfect kind of movie like that. But it was just really like it was taking this old way of making films and putting it
like old approach,
and allowing a new generation to fall in love with that kind of stuff.
Right, because that's what started it all.
Exactly, and I think that's the same thing that La La Land did, was take this old format of like movie musicals and putting it into terms with like a new generation. That way you could open up the door for people to go see movies like Singing in the Rain and
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Like all of these just really fantastic movies. That nobody kind of knows about anymore.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny. I hear the dog barking in the background and I'm like, I'm gonna kill it. It's funny. The other day, Thomas was talking to me about film theory, or not film theory, like film history classes. And in his acting program, he has to talk a lot of, like, they have to take a lot of classes about that. And he asked me, he was like, oh, like, did you take, you know, a class on film history or something? And I was like, no. But I did, and I totally forgot about it. But that's the only reason I ever saw Sunset Boulevard. Did you ever see the movie?
I've not seen the movie, no.
Okay, you need to watch it because I am Gloria Swanson. And let me just explain. Sunset Boulevard is just like this old movie, and it's kind of like investigating certain stuff. It's just it is a classic Hollywood movie, and some people have told me when I had to watch it for an assignment because I had to do a report in that whole movie, and I was kind of dreading it because it was like, it's not really my style, old Hollywood, whatever. And I watched it, and like one of my friends at the time in LA last year was like, one of the best movies of all time, you're gonna love it. And I was like, okay. So I gave it a chance and I watched it, and I realized why it's one of the best movies of all time, because it's just so good. And that's where they get that whole like, Mr. Whatever, or like, Mr. Director, I'm ready for my close-up. That's what that line's from.
Oh, okay.
And it's this delusional older woman, like middle-aged woman, who is, she was huge in silent film movies. And now they've gotten to like talk movies.
Talkies, yeah.
Yeah, like, which I don't know how else to word that. And she keeps wanting to be a star still. And they're like, well, you were great in silent films, but like she's basically just like she's like Mariah Carey, you know. Mariah Carey's just like over. It's like, stop, don't make another song, like you're done. Like that's how this woman
like is. you had your moment in the spotlight,
right? And this woman just like wears like these elegant like gowns and her own like huge like off Sunset Boulevard like mansion.
Yeah.
And like I am that woman. Like she's alone. Her butler is like does everything for her. Who that guy used to be like her director or something. There's a weird story about it, but anyways, yeah.
Because I only know about it because it just recently went on Broadway.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like it was Glenn Close. She was in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know.
It was open whenever
a musical version or a play?
Yeah, like it's Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote it.
Called Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Like I don't know if it was originally like a play first or a movie first.
No, it had to have been a movie first. I would imagine, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it was a movie first.
Well, I mean, it's a play now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was.
And there's like music and stuff.
Yeah, like it's a very old show.
I'm gonna look this up. Keep talking. Okay.
But yeah, Glenn Close was just in it, and I think Patti LuPone.
Probably played Gloria Swanson.
Yeah, like I think she switched out once Glenn Close left. Maybe, I'm not sure. Because I get really confused with.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah. What is it?
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Was it originally a play first or a movie?
It was a 1950 film. No, it was a film first, right? Or wait, no.
Basis film, yeah. First,
yeah.
It was
opening first in London in 1993.
Yeah.
It was a film first in 1950.
In 1950, and then started.
Actually started at
a festival.
Oh wait, no, that's talking.
Well, it started in the West End, but yeah, that's probably where it got like its main stuff.
And then it went to Los Angeles before it went to Broadway. Well, duh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm like, why did I go to LA first?
Well, yeah, like it was there whenever because I went to New York this summer.
Okay, yeah. So it made a revival in 2017. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. So let's see who played in the revival. Let's see. Norma Desmond. Yeah.
Patti LuPone played at West End.
Okay.
And then Glenn Close.
Gloria Swanson was the name of the actress who played Norma Desmond.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by when I say Gloria Swanson. I'm talking about the role that she played. Not yeah, you get it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What a hole we have fallen down. That's great. So yeah, that's what we did. We went and saw a play, the longest running murder mystery. And so yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the worst show I've seen in cinema, but it wasn't definitely.
Well, it was just probably the worst script I've ever.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse here.
Yeah. They have you heard of a play called Closer? Have we had this conversation already?
I don't think so.
You need to look it up. It's about this girl I know named Julia. She directed it at NIFA, and it was so good. It's about it's kind of this. Not a love triangle, but like a love square between this woman and straight people.
Yeah.
Two couples, and it's kind of this back and forth, like between this like young stripper and like this young author, and then this doctor, and then this other like random boring character, but. Yeah, you should read it. I'll try and find it and send it to you because it's actually a really good show. And the way I would sit there and say I would love to direct it one day, but to be honest, like I would love to act in it.
Yeah.
Not as the stripper, as the boring character. But my friend who directed it did such an incredible job. She's incredible. So, what are you doing now with your life? Those are people who don't understand. I feel like this is going to be like the secret files of you and me, like explaining us to anybody who doesn't understand us, really.
Like we're gonna look back on this in like 20 years and be like, oh my god.
I know. Well, and I feel like a lot of people from my main channel are gonna come listen to this because it's you and me. It's because it's you.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't care about me. All they want to see is you kiss people. So what are you doing now? It's October. Well, by the time they hear this, it'll be November.
Yeah, well, my life probably won't change much.
It won't change in a week from now.
I mean, right now I'm in school, last semester.
Of college.
Jesus.
And you never want to get your master's, right?
No. I'll probably only do that if, like, worst comes to worst. If I can't find any jobs.
Yeah.
Then I'll go. But nobody in the theater business really cares about, as long as you have like a BFA or like a bachelor in fine arts, like that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Like if you have a master, then it's just
BFA.
Yeah. Like it's even kind of worse to have more education on your resume, because then it kind of shows like you haven't done much actual real world work.
Yeah.
So it can actually be kind of a detriment. But yeah, I'm about to graduate. The plan right now is to move to New York.
What's your degree officially in?
It's going to be a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts.
In theater?
In theater, yeah.
Okay. Does it say
with a minor in psychology?
Oh, so you're getting a minor in psychology too?
Yeah, at my school we have to have a minor. Like it's a requirement.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. I used to think when I was younger you had to have a minor.
Not always. I mean, there's only some major, like, because for instance, my brother was a biology and chemistry major. He didn't have to have a minor because, biology and...
He was a double major?
I think they're lumped together.
Oh, just
but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Science.
It's just science.
Yeah, physical science.
Just a bunch of blood and muscles. And
then now he's a manager.
Now he's a manager at Chick-fil-A in New York.
Yeah, an accountant. That's crazy.
An accountant, yeah. Or something.
Yeah,
I don't
something
know. Just something to do
high
with
up there.
Chick-fil-A, which that's a whole weird thing. Which, by the way, they're making this Chick-fil-A in New York that's like 15 feet wide. But it's like 5 stories high. Like it's like one of their tallest buildings, but like one of their like most narrow.
Oh, so well, because in New York you can only go up.
Yeah, but like 15 feet, like that's not a lot of room.
Yeah, that's like, well, you're not 6 feet. How tall are you? You're like 5.
I'm like 5'9",
5'9",
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so good at guessing people's heights. Yeah, so that's like, never mind. That's like 3 of me,
yeah,
and then cut off a little bit. Yeah.
Like that's not a lot of room.
That's like 2.5 of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like 2. I always have to like be right about what I'm saying.
It's probably like the width of this table, like this kitchen table.
No, you're longer than this one.
Oh, maybe just a little bit. I don't know.
It's maybe from where I'm sitting to that wall. Anyways.
Yeah.
For those, nobody can see.
Nobody can see us.
Wow, that's really small.
Yeah.
But it just goes up.
I guess. I don't know.
It's just a tiny place.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Wow. Okay, yeah, he's moving to the Big Apple, and then you want to move to the Big Apple. And so what do you want to do? So Cullen recently kind of had a revelation of me.
Yeah, well, I over the summer I did this this theater festival in Western Massachusetts. It's called the Williamstown Theater Festival, and I went as an apprentice. So the way that the festival works is that there's 70 apprentices, and we kind of do a whole wide range of things. We like help build sets, but we're also in like these little 10-minute play things that directing interns do that they put on. And then above us are the interns, and they're like separate in their department. And then there are the non-ex are the non-equity members, because for those of you that don't know, equity is the union for theater, and then there's the equity company. So it's like a whole lot of people come together to make like a crazy amount of theater in 2 months. So I did that, and that kind of revealed to me that acting isn't really for me. Like, I like to think that I'm an okay actor, but I think that I'm better in technical. So I kind of want to move over to the technical aspects and do like lighting and set building, and that to me is a little bit more rewarding because you get to physically watch something that you have created from nothing into like this amazing piece of theater.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's a whole lot less stressful than getting up in front of thousands of people and kind of putting your like life out there. Yeah. And if people don't like it, then they don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of
art in general.
That's just kind of art in general, but it's like
So, do you feel like, are you still gonna, in the back of your mind, want to do theater? Or
right
act?
now, no.
No. And
at this moment. But, like, if I get out into the real world and I see that, like, I can be an actor and be successful, then I'll totally go for that.
Right.
Like, honestly, like, whatever is going to pay my bills.
Right.
Is what.
And it's not, I'm not getting the vibe from you that it's like a sense of cynicism that you're like, oh, I'm not a good actor.
No, like, it's coming from a point of, like, I honestly love doing theater, and I want to do something that's going to make me happy. And at this moment, technical theater is where I'm most happy. And
which is awesome.
Who's not to say that's going to change again? Like,
right.
My whole career has just changed. Like, I started out in theater, acting as like a little 8-year-old kid. And then I moved over to film, and that was all I wanted to do for a while, was just to act in films. And then I went on the other side of the camera, and I did art department stuff. I was an art department intern for a couple of different TV shows and movies in New Orleans and Central Louisiana. So I did that, and that was all I wanted to do for a while. And then I wanted to move out to LA to do that. And now I kind of want to move to New York and
do technical theater.
But, like, who's to say that's not ever going to change again? And,
right.
You know.
It's interesting because, like, it was acting that led you on the other side of both things. Like, initially it was...
Acting was where I started, and who's to say that's not where I'm going to end up? I'm happy just... As long as I'm doing art and I'm doing film or...
Right.
Putting... doing something with my life that isn't just for me.
Right.
Like, because I'm not going to be happy sitting behind a desk.
Right.
Filing papers for 12 hours a day. That's not something that's going to make me happy. Like, I want to get out and make people feel things. Right.
Well, and,
like,
I think that's all of us that like art. Yeah.
And be proud of putting up this work. Like, the festival puts up 7 main stage shows in 2 months, and a bunch of other stuff that is not on the main stages, but like are just internal stuff.
Right.
So, like, I probably put on upwards of like 12 to 15 different, completely different shows in a span of 2 months, and I was like the most happy. Like, I was just basking in it.
Yeah.
Because you're surrounded. Like, it's this tiny little town in Western Massachusetts. I didn't have my car, so I couldn't go anywhere. So it was just on this college campus. And I just put on theater with hundreds of other people that were there just for doing theater.
Put on theater, yeah.
And it was kind of just... It was a really big moment in my life. I think I'll look back on this summer and think of it as like this big chapter in my life. Right. That kind of pointed my life in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, I remember I had that when I went to... You remember when I went to Florida for a week for that filmmaking program? And I was like, this is what I want to do, guys. Like, this works for me. And then I remember after that, I wanted to do film. Yeah. And then I went out there for film. And I still want to do film. I still want to direct. And I still want to write film. And I more so TV. But, and then I did that. And then now I'm like... Well, I'm still, like, film is, like, still, my 2 jobs, my first 2 jobs in LA were, I shot a commercial for a bakery, and then, among doing, PR and a bunch of thousands of other stuff for them, but then I did, film for a salon, and then it was, like, promo for them, but then what I didn't like was I ended up back in that YouTube realm, and I think I've done a really good job of making that clear that I don't want to stay in that YouTube realm.
YouTube is kind of dying.
It's dying fast.
And I think it's dying because YouTube tried to make too much money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That. But also the algorithm is
just killing.
Faulty.
Yeah.
It's faulty. And it's just... I don't want to be
it used to be all about the creators, and now it's just all about money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where they screwed up, because then they started getting a bunch of mediocre creators who
were just able to push out stuff, and
who were able to push out stuff. And like I mean, you're a part of the channel. We just kind of were like, okay, where do we go from here? We can only keep creating fan fiction for literally for so long. And it's like, I think the people that'll listen to this podcast will really understand that. YouTube was a stepping stone for me to get to where I want to be.
It was practice and
figuring
out stuff that works and what didn't work. And
I learned anytime I'm good with business, and anytime I touch a camera, something good comes out of it.
Yeah.
And I learned that first with my documentary that I did in high school, and then which when I look back on it, I mean, obviously the point is there, but the quality is just, oh my god. It's just the sound, the lighting. I just didn't care what I was shooting.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that's what's kind of cool about it too. But yeah, like YouTube's totally dying, right? Like,
it's sad because so many people have given up their
lives.
Yeah. And they were. You could have made a living off of YouTube a couple years ago.
Right, and now it's all faulty, and I don't even know if you know why. It's an adpocalypse is what they call it.
Yeah.
And like, do you know what caused that? Like, do you know about that?
Kind of like one of my favorite YouTubers. Like, he's very open about his revenues and statistics,
which is actually illegal. I don't know if you know.
Well, no, he doesn't like release his actual numbers, but he does show like the charts.
Okay.
Just without any numbers.
Like the graphs.
Mm-hmm. And like he does say he said because he's really active on Twitter. Mm-hmm. He said that like a year ago he got the same amount of views that he was getting now, but made double the amount of money. Because the whole ad system changed to where he just would lose money. Because I think it isn't like don't you get money from like amount of
clicks on an ad?
Okay.
Yeah, but here's the issue: is videos are being demonetized because they're not ad friendly, aka family friendly.
Yeah.
And that happened because there was like an ISIS video or something. That was running ads on it, or like a terrorist video or something, and people saw that and the like big advertisers, and then so then it makes it look like, so if there was like a Coca-Cola ad on there, it looked like Coca-Cola was supporting this terrorist group, you know?
Which I understand where like the companies are coming from, because I'm taking a PR class right now.
Oh, I do too. They started pulling out.
Like, I understand it, but also at the same time, a lot of people are not going to be like, oh, if this Coca-Cola's on an ad with like terrorist groups, no one's actually going to put them together. Right.
You just, as an advertiser, the way they do it, they just have amount of money that they can like spend ads on and just like throw it out there into this pool, and then whatever ad ends up on a video just kind of happens.
Yeah.
It's not like they're sponsoring that video.
But also, like, we live in a time now that we're so surrounded by advertisements. Like, you walk out the door and there's a billboard. You look on your phone and there's constant advertisements being thrown at you. Like, consumers nowadays, like, we're used to advertising.
Right.
We're not going to associate Coca-Cola with ISIS.
Right.
If a 30-second ad runs before a video, like.
Right. But
also on the same like on the other side, like, there are people
that you're like, oh yeah, that people that might not understand. Well, why did you do? Like, I think, my point was like, okay, so one of my favorite YouTubers, Todrick Hall. You know who Todrick Hall is?
Yeah.
And Todrick Hall was just on Kinky Boots. Like, he was just in Taylor Swift's new video. Like, he's killing it in the real world. On a YouTube scale, He had his hits in here and there.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to be a daily vlogger, a big YouTube star, because then he would have never been able to get away from that.
Yeah.
And there are people who are lucky, like Cullen Ballinger, who gets, you know, haters back off on Netflix and people like that. But like...
Or like people like PewDiePie that had such a fan base that they're just untouchable now.
Right, like he's the biggest YouTuber, and
like,
I love him. I think he's great. And I mean, I know there's controversy surrounding him right now, but there's always going to be controversy.
Exactly.
But then like the biggest YouTubers right now are like Jake Paul and Rice Gum and like...
Yeah, like I don't even know anyone like in the...
Exactly, like you're looking at me like, who? Like...
Yeah, like YouTube has moved into this younger generation. They kind of just have forsaken everyone else.
Yeah.
Because like the millennials now, like...
We're getting over it.
Yeah, like...
We're moving on. Like we're getting
like
jobs.
Our generation, like, because I think technically we're post-millennials. Actually, I what year were you born in?
I'm 95. You're 97. So
I'm definitely a post-millennial.
Well, you and Thomas are the same age, but no, we're technically...
I think the line is like 95 or 96 is where like millennials are post-millennials. Like, because I just heard the term post-millennial like the other day, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, like there's like it's like...
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, look it up.
Look, let's...
Because I just heard about this the other day, and I was like, okay, yeah, because apparently post-millennials are harder workers. Like there's like post-millennials are kind of just better in any way than millennials. Like,
oh, okay. Oh wait, no. A millennial is a person reaching young adult. Oh, I'm gonna kill that freaking dog. Like, what are you barking at? Like, do you need a bone? What is it? A millennial is a person reaching young adulthood around the year 2000. Generation Z, also known as post-millennials, the I generation, founders, plurals, or the homeland generation, is the demographic cohort following the millennials. So we're Generation Z.
I think you're a millennial and I'm a post-millennial. Like, I think the line is like right in between us.
But no. It's saying a millennial is a person who's reaching young adulthood around year 2000. I was 5 at 2000.
Oh, then I guess we're both
I guess we are post-millennial. So I guess...
Like, because the line is very...
Oh, so, okay, so...
It's either, like, right before us.
Generation X is people born between 1961 and 1981.
Oh, no, that's Z.
Oh. Well, then what generation are we?
Oh, wait, no, that is X.
Wait.
This whole Google page is just really
Hold on,
confusing.
wait. Okay, so what generation... Okay, I'm going to say I'm born in 1995. What generation am I? Okay. Generation Y, the millennials, the births ended 1994. So we're both post-millennials. Okay.
Because apparently post-millennials are supposed to be better than millennials because we're like harder workers or I don't know, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm right at the edge of iGen, IZ, which those ended 2012. Anybody born between 1995 and 2012. The youngest age is 5, and the oldest age is 22. So we're Generation Z. Okay. Well, then get it right, guys. Millennial doesn't mean us. So the youngest person that's a millennial right now is 23 years old. The oldest is 37. Wow.
That changes a lot, like in the view of like...
How misinformed everyone is. Oh my gosh.
Google your stuff.
Oh my god. Wait, so sorry?
This is mind altering.
I'm posting this to Facebook. I did not know that. Hold on. Like, that is the craziest thing. Because millennial is everyone thinks they're millennials.
Yeah, everyone thinks that like people our age are millennials, but no, we're post-millennial.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It really does.
Because if think about all the people that are older than us, they suck. But okay, so the people that
because that's like Elena's age. Elena's a millennial then.
That's so funny because she was always like, well, I'm Generation Y. No, that's just another name for millennials. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm mind blown. That's the craziest thing. Holy crap. Okay, so what? So they say that we're just like our generation is just a little more. Well, I can imagine that our generation is way more advanced because.
Yeah, well, yeah, like we're just more hardworking because I think we have to work to be hardworking because we have these technologies that make our lives so much easier that I think that we're pushing to like find purpose in life.
But also, I hate to use this term, but like we're also more woke, so to speak, because
the world has shrunk for us.
Yeah,
because we can instantly
we have access to any information we want at any time. Like,
and so I think that's also made us a smarter generation because my YouTube is like I have like CPG Gray and like all these different like scientific different channels that I watch, and it's just learning about useless stuff that I will never have to really
learn about.
Yeah. But it's interesting, like learning about different cultures and learning about the way that our word works, like just that stuff is just really interesting. And I can go on YouTube and I can instantly find answers to any question that I could possibly have.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah, because now I literally just screenshotted what generation is each generation, like down, like starting from 1890. And my mom was Generation X, which was right after the baby boomer generation. Okay, so yeah, so I'm sharing that so that people are, like informed.
It's gonna be so weird whenever this Generation Alpha they're saying it is. Yeah. It's like 2013 to 2025.
That's gonna be like when I'm having kids.
Oh my God, that's gonna be so weird. Whenever those people grow up.
Oh my God, that's insane. Well, I'm actually always 5 years older than whatever year it is. So like 2017, I'm 5 years older than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's an easy way for me to think about it. Not that I ever forget how old I am.
Well, but it's probably nice for people that are that were born in like the 2000s or like in like year 2000.
Yeah, because I guess
their
their
age is the year.
That's wow, that's so interesting. So, okay. So everyone that watches my videos is either Generation Alpha or our generation. That's crazy.
Well, hopefully none of them are Alpha because that's like what
5 and under.
5 and under.
Yeah, 5 and under.
Maybe we do have a couple.
Yeah, there's probably much. But going back to that is I never moved to LA with the intent that I was going to be the biggest YouTuber. Like, it'll be a miracle if we ever hit like 1 million subscribers one day. But I don't think that'll ever happen. But I think
because that's a lot of work. You gotta put some energy.
Like, I know,
that.
And you remember when it used to be like okay for like one video a week? Well, now everyone expects a video every single day. And I'm like, with what I do, like everything I've ever done, I never, except the things I have done. Like, I don't know. I'm just in this very lost point in my life where I'm really just like, I'm with Thomas and like we live together and like I just want a job that I'm happy at.
Yeah, you just want to be happy.
I just want to be happy.
You don't have to be stressing out about like
like
if you're gonna hit 1 million subscribers or if this next video, if everybody's gonna hate this next video.
Right. Like I really just want to just chill.
Yeah.
Like I want to stop being dependent on things.
On other people's.
On other people and other people's opinions.
Or expectations.
Expectations. And then it's like, it's hard when you build this brand around really 3 people, being you, me, and Morgan, and then we're all in completely different places.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And we're all completely different people.
We're all completely different people with completely different goals. Like, now Morgan's going to school for psych nursing. Like, Jordan Giles commented on it and said fake news. I think you heard that the other night when we were talking about that. But I'm just so at this point where I'm like, I never wanted to be this huge YouTuber. But I also don't care. Like the people that are big now, it's all just about like making like awesome diss tracks.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, that's all YouTube is about now. It's like, oh, diss track. And it's like, then just go be in the hip hop scene. Like, what? Get off YouTube. Like, there's no like comedic content anymore. There's no,
because creative content gets shut down by
monetization. Yeah. And what happens is when your video is not monetized, it's not as run through the system as much. Like, it's not on suggested videos as much.
It's not even your subscriber list sometimes.
Yeah, literally. So I'm at this point where I'm very like, I want to, like, I just, stage managing Thomas's show recently. Like, really, like, it was a very hard process for me, but at the same time, it was like, it gave me such a real feeling of like, oh my God, like, this is what it's like to be a part of something like authentic and real, and like something that's just like, wow, this is like live theater. And like, but obviously I get that every week doing stand-up, so I'm really pursuing stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I'm obviously really trying to fight the whole mental illness stigma and like be an advocate for that, be an activist for that. I will do that all day, any day. But I don't want to hold the boom mic in the industry for years. Like I was saying earlier, I don't want to do that until someone gives me a chance to be an assistant director, you know, and then from there, like, I don't want to work my way up. I'm delusional and also smart enough to think that I can do things differently. I don't have to do that. And I've always been very innovative, and I think with our generation, we're very innovative, and we're very like we're very good at paving a new way for ourselves.
Because we're sick of the way that
it is. Like, we're sick of the system. Like, and that's why, these things like YouTube and all these other things, like, people become huge stars from it, and like Justin Bieber was found on YouTube and things like that. So it's like, of course, we're reaching this new understanding of like, oh, I don't have to, go to college for 4 years. I mean, you did, but thank God you did. I mean, I run into the problem a lot where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have gone to school for 4 years for something. And like Thomas did, like, he's getting his BFA in acting. So,
I mean, we are reaching that point in society where we don't, like, there's more and more people that are not going to college. And, I think that a lot of employers just care about those 3 letters on your resume that say, like, I have made it through college. Like,
yeah.
At this point, like, honestly, like, I have such bad senioritis. Mm-hmm. Because I don't give a crap about my grades, because nobody after college is going to give a crap about my grades.
Right. Like, they may ask for your GPA on a
maybe,
thing, but
maybe. Like,
but it's not that.
And in my line of work, that's probably never going to be asked. Yeah. Because nobody cares about that. Because
what's the point?
It's a school. Like,
at least I graduated.
Yeah, like, in theater, it's all about your real world.
Yeah.
Like,
experience.
what you have done outside of school.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is what really matters. Like,
yeah. And you would think for film, too, but I've run into so many production assistant jobs that are, like, BFA and editing or something, or, like, editor jobs. Because, like, I've looked a lot for editing jobs. And then I just realized, like, No, I'm probably gonna go manage a front desk at some place for a while. And like, you know what's crazy is like, as a creative person, I sit there and think about like an office job, and I'm like, that sounds great, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, a nice break, just something mindless.
Yeah, like something I can do with my eyes closed. Because like sometimes I really just like want to. I've always had this split personality in the sense that like, you know, I've always wanted to get married young. That's always been a thing with me. But then there's, like I was saying earlier, like part of me is like, I'm ready to, you know, get married and have babies and stuff like that. But like the babies thing, I'm really not serious about. But like I am ready to like get married and have a house and then like continue creating. Yeah. You know, and you know, Thomas, that's a great thing about being around Thomas is like he's always creating, so it's like I am never gonna fall off of that train. Like yeah. And it's crazy to put that in the hands of someone else. I know I'm always going to be creating. And I really do. It's stupid for me to sit here and say, I want to go on college tours and be a stand-up comedian, but I also want to be married and have a house. But, like, I think you can do both.
You can totally get both.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that way. Like, at this point in my life, I don't want a family. Like, that's not the kind of person that I am. Like,
yeah,
I am going to be married to my work. Like, yeah, I want to go and tour the country doing electrics jobs. Like,
yeah, and have a blast doing that.
Like, I don't want to settle down and get roots. Like, I've never been that kind of person to really root down in a place. Like, yeah, like, whenever I moved here to Central Louisiana, I had friends all over the place, and I would constantly be making new friends. And now, I maybe have 4 or 5 friends here max that I care about.
Right.
And that's fine with, like, I do not want any more than that. Like,
I'm good.
Like, I want to be able to uproot myself easy and move
not
anywhere
have
I want.
Strings,
and not feel bad about moving.
Yeah, and not have
have strings and not feel like I'm being held back. Because, like, I feel like my purpose in life is not to have a family.
Yeah.
I feel like my purpose is to make things for other people to enjoy.
Which is selfless and also, like, good that you want to do that. Like, we need more people like that in the world. Like, if everybody was selfish and wanted to have 800 kids, like the world already is now, you know, then we would be stuck like this for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. I 100% agree. Because I feel like, I think the dog, that noise.
Oh my God.
That noise is the dog sticking his head through the cat hole. The cats have a door, the dog does not.
He's probably like freezing out there because it's like 50 degrees out there, which for us it's cold.
But you know what? But you know what? Now my dog.
Oh my God, he's going to break down that door. Maybe he's the reason why that door doesn't work, because he just kept ramming his head through.
I think it is, actually. Look, my little brother decided to get a dog and left the dog home and went off to college. Now it's my mom's dog, not my problem. I sound really insensitive. They're like, wow, animal cruelty. Like,
no animals were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yeah, they just weren't helped either. But yeah, I'm so ready for a change, and I know 2018 is going to be different.
He's hoping.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Lord knows it might all go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, because 2017 went to hell in a handbasket.
2017 was rough.
2017 was like one of the roughest years in my life. Like, 2016 was... Nobody
wins in 2017. Like,
no, nobody does.
Maybe like Trump won.
And that was it. Like, yeah, that's where I was going with that. But also like it's I'm at a point where I'm subscribed to ABC News on YouTube, and like I get notifications, like push notifications from ABC News. Like, we're at that point.
Notification squad for ABC News.
Yeah, like, let me know.
Let me know whenever Trump says something dumb.
Yeah, like I'm curious about the day when I don't have to kill that dog that's slinging its head on the door. I'm curious about the day that I don't have to be Princess Anna anymore. Isn't that kind of sad?
I mean, I think you're reaching that, like. I
think I've been reaching.
I mean, you're 22 now, like.
Right, Morgan's gonna be 28 in 3 months.
You've been doing this, like the whole princess party.
The princess thing since 2013.
Exactly, like it's time.
Yeah, like.
You've done it. You've been 23. Successful.
Right. Chapter 2.
You've done what you've needed to do now.
Right.
Chapter 2.
It's almost like, like you go to high school for 4 years. It's been 4 years. Mm-hmm. If I would have stayed in school in like traditional university college, I would have graduated this past May.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I would be starting a new chapter in my life. But I'm more than okay with like, because the cool thing is like, I've already like, I graduated film school in February this year, and I started. That is absurd. Like, I hope all of you do that, because I know it's. Like, how badly can you want in? Like, the cat door has never let you in before. Like,
well, because he's a giant, lab? Like, chocolate lab?
Yeah.
He's huge.
Like, what are you doing?
He probably hears this and is like, I want to be part of the podcast. Let me talk.
I know, you've been a part of the past 3. Jeez. So, what was he saying?
Princess parties. Want to move on.
I
don't want to be Princess Anna.
I don't. Oh, yeah. To sum it up, yeah. I'm done. Like, I love kids, and I love acting, and I love makeup. But
all of which I don't. I agree completely opposite on that.
Right. But like, I'm done with that. Like, I think it would be different if I was. If you know what Kelsey said to me, I don't know if you were here. Kelsey was like, "Have you ever thought about daily vlogging?" And I was like, "No."
I think daily vlogs are dying in their own right.
I think they are too.
Because nobody wants to watch someone go throughout their daily lives.
And that's why I've never done it. And
like, I especially could never, because my life is not interesting.
I don't think my life is interesting either.
It would be literally, if I had to do a daily video, it would be like 1 minute of like.
Right, like...
I'm watching TV again.
Yeah, like, I think I just don't think I'm interesting enough. Like, maybe if I became, like, a stand-up comic, like, a full-time working one, but I'm not, I'm not... it's very complicated.
Because now we have the opportunity to live those own lives ourselves, that we don't have to watch other people.
Right, and so
living a better life than ours.
Right, and so like now I'm kind of like, she asked me that. She was like, "Oh, I watch these people all the time." But Kelsey's also a phlebotomist, and like lives in Sinlaw and has no plans to move anywhere else. So like, and Kelsey's happy with that, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's happy for her.
Right, and Kelsey was on the first podcast that I did, and but me, I'm. Like, I'm ready to start doing stuff. Like, I don't care what. There's a reason that door's broken.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see.
Report back. He's literally getting up to go.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Hold on. What'd he do?
Look! He just has the welcome mat.
What the heck? Holy crap.
Oh my god.
Did he push that through there? Was it like that before?
No, there's no way.
No, it wasn't, because wasn't the little girl playing over here with that?
Uh-huh.
Hey, was he pulling that out with his teeth?
I
I was going to use a strong choice of words, but decided not to. So the dog, I don't know how, but the dog pulled...
He rolled up the welcome mat like a burrito.
He rolled it up like a burrito with his thumbs that he doesn't have and pushed it through the cat door and broke off the frame of the cat door.
Oh, no, that was broken off before.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was broken off already.
That was fun. Can you not hear anything?
No, I haven't heard anything the whole time.
Oh, really?
No, I don't.
It might not be plugged in. Give it to me. Sorry, we had to switch headphones because apparently Cullen's weren't working at all.
No.
Wait, is this one working now? Or is it this one still? Nope, never mind. Okay, so oh my god, this
was
podcast.
Like a fun little intermission.
Yeah, this was a fun little intermission for everybody. So yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm done. What I was saying was I graduated film school in February, and like I started working in February, and like shot my first commercial like at the end of February in Beverly Hills, which is like not too shabby. Right? Like, that's not too bad. And so I was only 21, and I also, that was my first casting director stuff I've ever done. And yeah, like not too shabby.
No.
Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So now I'm just kind of at this point where I'm like, am I going to be Princess Anna for the rest of my life?
I don't think so.
And I don't feel like filming with people in LA. At first I thought I was like I was like okay with it. Like I filmed like a few videos with a bunch of people, and then like I quickly was like, I don't like any of you. And like honestly, so I don't have an honest connection with them, so why should I let them be a part of my world? You know what I mean? Like, that was my point. So yeah, like, I don't even really 100% feel right having Thomas in my videos. Like, not that I don't love Thomas, I do, but I just don't feel...
They're two separate worlds.
They're two separate worlds, and, like, it just doesn't... we don't have to be a part of everything each other does. Like, yeah. I'm ready for a change. And, like, for a while, I was going to move back home for a few months and, like, try and save up and, like, move to New York instead, which would be really cool. But
I don't think you would survive here for a couple months.
I don't think I would. like moving back home. I think that would be the dumbest thing I could do.
I think.
Because then at least I'm still in LA. I may not be having the momentum that I necessarily want, but like, or it may not be perfect, but like at least I'm there. And I think I've learned that in these 2 weeks that like, no, it like I can't live back here solely because of my family situation.
I think if you move back here, you'll be stuck.
I'll be stuck for good.
And well, not just stuck for good, but just for those few months, you'll be stuck in how you were whenever you lived here.
Yeah. Like, you remember those last few months before I moved when I was just like, just done.
Because, I mean, the friends that you've made in high school are
gone. And then
you're different than you were in high school. So,
right.
And, like, the friends that you had in high school, they probably still think of you as...
Mackenzie from high school.
That's Mackenzie from high school, yeah.
Right. And then, like, I made friends with you guys. And then, like, you're about to leave. And then Elena is ever-changing. And,
yeah.
You know, Melody's in Vegas. And, yeah, I'd just be lying to myself if I stayed here. That would just be really not smart, to be honest. It was just...
You, me, Elena, like, I think we're all too big for...
This place. Yeah. And we know that. And
I lived here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Only. Like, you lived here for what?
My whole life.
18?
Or
18 years? Up to
20.
20? Yeah.
I moved when I was 20, yeah.
I couldn't stand living here for 3 years.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
It's just a bad place. People stay here. You just get stuck.
And get drunk. Like, no wonder people get addicted to drugs.
I mean, we have drive-through daiquiri shops.
Yeah, like, no wonder people get addicted to, like, alcohol and, like... Yeah. Not a fan of it.
I mean, haven't you even said that Avoyelles Parish, which is just, like, next door to us, has, like, the highest suicide rate like, in the whole country, right?
What I was told was the whole world for a ratio of an area.
I mean, I could believe it.
A ratio of an area, or ratio is not the right term, but for a percentage rate.
Yeah.
Of a body of area.
I mean, you drive through Avoyelles and you just want to shoot yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And that is literally a good 30 minutes from here. That's right next door.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And people who are born here stay here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of saddening. Because it's like, what are you going to do with your life in central Louisiana?
Right. Well, and when Mike said earlier, when he was like, you were too big to, like, I always knew you were too big for this place. Like, when he said that, that's the second ex-boyfriend of mine to say that in this past week. And I'm like, I'm glad y'all took note. I'm just kidding. But I think if I came back home, I've realized, like, I can come home and burst of needing to stay home, you know, while I don't have a stable job right now. Yeah. But I
mean, that's how I am. Like, I can't hardly go back to my home for more than like a week.
Yeah.
Because I will go insane.
Yeah. Well, in the living situation, you grow out of it. Your parents are always going to think that you're 13. And then also, you know, my siblings, like, I swear to God, if it wasn't for my looks, I would swear, like, they grabbed the wrong baby at the hospital. Like, I have a lot in common with my family, but the social cues and I mean, it's hard. Also, what a lot of people don't understand between me and Morgan is, like, and you know, but, like, with me and Morgan are very different. Like,
really, I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Like, not just like in a cutesy, like, oh, you're Anna, I'm Elsa way. Like,
intrinsically, like, at the deepest level, we are two completely different
immensely people. Different. Our faith, our morality, our what makes us tick, what you know, what we find soothing.
Like, if y'all weren't related, I don't think y'all could ever be friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Just outside of, like, a familial...
a familiar home base.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think what brings us close together is that we did have the same upbringing. We were sisters. We grew up in the same household. Me and her didn't ever get along until I was about 15, 16. And even then, you know, we still... Like, we always had things, like, when we were a little grown up where we would, like, goof around and stuff. But, like, a lot of people don't understand that, like, when you cross that... When you blur the lines of family member and business partner, life gets very, very hard.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know...
That's why they have laws about people, like, hiring their own family members, or, like, hiring their own spouses. Like, there are reasons why we have laws about that.
Yeah, because it's just not healthy, and ultimately, and I'm talking about even before YouTube. I'm talking about when I started Party Princesses, and Morgan was I allowed her to take that term, co-owner, but she wasn't. But I allowed her to consider herself co-owner.
wasn't invested in the same way that
but she wasn't. You were. And there were billions of times where she quit, where I would be like, just don't even bother doing the parties this weekend. I'll find a replacement. Like, it's hard working together. And then, like, when you become this duo, everyone's just like, Morgan and Mackenzie. And like, Morgan wasn't there doing theater with me growing up. She wasn't standing in the pool house working on her vocal range the way I was. She wasn't, doing the things that I did, that I busted my ass doing. She was busy busting her ass doing other things, like getting a psychology degree and like doing other things. Like, that's not to say I worked more than she did or anything like that. It's to say that we are two totally different people. And when you just kind of do this thing and then it just becomes this, like, even, I'm going to kill that dog for the billionth time. When you just kind of get lumped together and then you just kind of become this thing forever, it's really hard to get away from. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's like, I'm not coming home for the holidays. I'm not... My family situation, like, Thomas is my family. Like, my mom is my family. Morgan is my family. These people are my family. But where I feel safe is in my bed, laying next to Thomas with my cats. Like, that's where I feel. And
I feel the same way. And it's not saying that, like,
it's not to discredit your family members. They're wonderful. They do everything for us, But
yeah, like, and not to say that they are like bad people and intrinsically.
Yeah.
But like, it's like that saying, like, you can't choose your family.
But thank God you can choose your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because you, like you said, like, you want to travel the world and in the country and do theater, tech theater, and install things for people and work on a project and be responsible and, like, also have a paycheck. Like, that's what's going to make Cullen happy. And that's completely different from all of my other siblings. Right. Like, one of them's married and has a baby on the way, and one of them already has a baby and is married. Not right? Married, but has a happy baby, and then my oldest sibling, she is about to get married, and to a really great guy, and then there's you, and then I'm the black sheep. Yeah, I'm the only one that doesn't have a child or in a relationship. I know, and I feel like the black sheep too, in a weird way. Like, I think I'm gonna be I will definitely be the last one to get married, because I'm definitely not going to get married in 2 years. That's, oh my God. I mean, I know I'm going to be the first one to get married. But I've always really loved and always wanted to. Sam, I'm different. Yeah. You're right. You're I'm a lot more internal, a lot more self-sufficient. Self-love, yeah. 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 Like a self-sufficient, yeah. Yeah. You're not codependent at all. At all. You're the opposite of codependent. Like, I will need... You're like, get away from me. Like, yeah, like, I will definitely need, like, a 2-bedroom house that I have my own bed in. Uh-huh. Like, like, me and my spouse will sleep together some nights. And then some nights I'll just be like, nope, I need to sleep by myself. I know, yeah. And I have that tendency to want to be alone, too. But, like, for the most part, I'm a partner's partner. Like, I want to be with someone. If I spend more than, like, a couple hours with somebody, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so drained. Like, yeah, me too. I just need to go by myself. I know. Me too. I'm like, it's bedtime. Like, yeah. Like, 10 o'clock. Oh, time for my bed. Right. Like, is that a train? I think so. Since when was there a train nearby? I think the closest tracks are, like, in Pineville, like, across the river. That was the train. I heard a damn train. Maybe the wind is just blowing in the right direction. Or maybe it's a 4-wheeler. I don't know. We're hearing all kinds of sounds. It's a Louisiana. It could be anything. But yeah, I think I just really want to... I'm ready to like start my life. Like I got that whole like move to, and that's funny because like that's the system that you're about to start. Like
yeah, like once I graduate,
like you're ready to go to that big city, like do
make
what
a
you
name
want,
for myself. Yeah,
meet who you want, like make
date
new
who
friends,
I want,
date who you want. Like, and I went through that, and I feel like I needed a good solid year for me to do that.
And that's how I feel like that. I'm already expecting, like, it's going to take me a year if I move to New York to not even just, like, get used to it, but, like, get used to the
Find
weather
your place.
and get used to the subways and the taxis and being around thousands of people all the time. Like,
oh, my God, yeah.
I've never grown up. Like, I've grown up pretty much in the country my whole life. But I'm not happy there. Right. I'm happy surrounded by thousands of other people.
Yeah. Because with people that aren't going to bug you and like...
Yes.
Because the more people there are, the less they care about what you're doing. Yeah. Whereas like in a small town like this, like...
Everybody cares about everything.
If I like tilt my head the wrong way, they're like, excuse me, what's that extension in your hair? Like, they wouldn't even know to say extension in my hair, but like...
Like, even... Like, the school that I go to has policies that are discriminatory. Like, straight up discriminatory.
Yeah, discriminatory.
Like, it should not be that... Like, my school should not be allowed to...
Well, and not even just discriminatory, but, like, controlling. Like...
Because without going into too much detail, it's a Baptist school, so they have religious protections, but
right, but
at some point you need to say like, no, this is bad.
This is crossing the line.
Like this is
right. Like people's personal lives like have nothing to do with their like academic abilities. Yeah, and that being like having premarital sex like should not like
because I could get kicked out of my own school for. If somebody found out that I was having sex off campus or even drinking off campus or
which is crazy.
Yeah, like this is the 21st century and
right, it's yeah, that's the best way to put it. Not it's 2017, it's the 21st century. Like
it's been 2100 years since Jesus walked the earth.
Right,
like it's time to move on.
Right, like I'm pretty sure he turned water into wine. And I'm pretty sure.
But, like, good for him. But, like...
like, right, exactly. Like,
but also, like, Christianity now is just so much different than... Like, you know, I would love to talk to Jesus and say, like, is this...
accurate.
What you wanted?
Yeah, is this what you wanted? Yeah.
And I don't think that he would say yes.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, because look at how much corruption has happened
hate
because of a religion.
Exactly. Like... the whole Crusades in the Middle Ages, like that was killed thousands of people, and yet in the Bible it says do not kill. Yeah. Oh, but if God says it's okay, then it's okay. But
right.
There's not a lot of internal logic.
Yeah.
It's like if God says it, then it's all for it. But
there needs to just be some sort of like
shift
in everything.
I think once like the baby boomer generation kind of dies off.
Yeah, which I hate to put it that way, but
yeah, but I mean that's any generation.
But yeah,
like
things change.
Like generations are so intrinsically different from each other that there's going to be a big change once the older generation that is kind of ruined this country.
Right.
And now it's time for us to take over and make it what we want it to be. And who's to say that what we're going to do to the country is our children's children are going to hate what we have done to the country?
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's just a cycle of human nature.
But at the same time, it is 2017, but we're acting like it's the freaking 60s.
Yeah.
Or 50s, or whatever you want to call it. With the racism.
There's still incredible amounts of racism and sexism
and just prejudice. Just against everything.
Why? the recent Facebook movement, and we've talked about this before, but the recent Facebook movement of the whole Me Too thing, I was all for it, and I'm usually not for social movement networks. I mean, social network trends. Movements, like trends, hashtags. Like, I'm not all about that. Yeah. This one I was for, but also at the same time, it's like, we shouldn't have to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It shouldn't have to end up in our Facebook statuses.
It shouldn't have been this bad to where thousands of women have been sexually messed up because of something some random guy did, who probably doesn't even remember it. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah. It's sad that way. It took a Hollywood producer for us to go, oh wow, sexual assault's bad.
And there's still people that are not pro sexual assault, but like are defending these people
to it.
That are very dismissive. And it's the same way with the people that still support Trump. And I'm getting really political, but like, people that still support Trump wholly, like
why?
You have to be insane to completely go with everything that Trump says. Because
I know. And I have friends who won't listen to this podcast, but friends who are my best friends, who you've met, who live here, and I'm not talking about Kelsey.
I mean, it is the South. We are in a
place where
a state that voted
our family members.
Trump.
Yeah, my dad,
my parents.
Yeah, I mean, other people have voted for him. But the thing is those people aren't us, though.
Yeah.
And I think in their defense, but also at the same time, like, okay, my best friend aside, who voted for Trump, aside from her, she just thinks he's like the best person ever, and I don't know if it's a joke or not. And I love her, but what do you like? She also thinks a bunch of other things I don't agree with, but and I sit there and I try and say, well, okay, I live in LA. Okay, well, I live in a blue state. Okay, well, I say things like that, but honestly, if I lived here, I would have been saying the same exact stuff. But here's the thing: the people that voted for Trump are the older people who, and this is not a pro-Hillary conversation.
No,
this is
not
an
at all.
Anti-Trump conversation.
Yes.
Anti-hate conversation.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Like I said, my best friend, one of my best friends since childhood, is a hardcore Trump supporter. All I can do is love her.
Exactly.
All I can do is love her and show her love. Because if I shut her out, I'm being the exact thing I'm against. Right. But the thing is the adults, like our parents and not my mom, but like my dad and other people's parents and other people's parents in my life who voted for Trump, they're already married. They've already got what they needed. They're already white. They're already a straight married couple.
And they're already like rich
and they're already like financially where they're going to be. They already either got or didn't get their education. There's no going back. So their concerns are all financial. So they're like, we need a business person and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're against the social issues that Trump is trying to reverse and trying to cause. But it sure does mean that wasn't. It sure does say that financial stuff is more important to you than social issues.
And I'll give it to Trump. Like, he is an amazing businessman. He knows what he's talking about because he is a billionaire. I don't know how much money he has,
billionaire,
I mean, yes, I'll give it to that. Like, if he could just be like the Secretary of Treasury, like,
go for it.
Like, all for it.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Stay what you know. You didn't go to school for politics. Like, we just had a president, Obama, that
spent his whole life
studied law. I think he went to. Did he go to Harvard or? I know he went to like a good Ivy school.
I'm pretty sure he went to Harvard. I'm 99% sure, but I'm gonna look that up while you keep talking.
But like, we just got out of this 8-year presidency with someone who knew what he was talking about, and I was really young during his pregnancy, during his president.
Might as well, not kidding.
I was fairly young during his time in office.
Yeah, Harvard Law School. Yeah, Columbia University, then Harvard Law. Okay. So, anyways.
So we got out of that, and somebody that knew what they were talking about, and made a really big, this was a really big movement. Like, we finally had an African American president, and we're finally able to get other minorities in office. And then the next year we had Hillary Clinton, which, I probably voted for her just because I wanted a woman in president. I mean, a woman to be in office. That was probably
a portion of it.
25% of why I voted for her.
But also she was the most qualified person.
But also, and she had a husband who was a president.
You don't get any more qualified than that.
And she was a first lady, which in its own right is just as important as being president.
Right. Because
everybody's looking at you
Right. She already knows how to act.
She already knows how to be in office.
Right. And I think just like Trump supporters excuse the whole his whole grab her by the that thing. They excuse that. But then we're not allowed to excuse this whole email investigation thing. And then I just
and I saw an interview that Clinton did with this YouTube channel called Vox. And that's it's a very political kind of YouTube channel. Uh-huh. But there was this really great whoa.
Right.
It was this really great interview that she did, and
that Hillary Clinton did?
That Hillary Clinton did. Just kind of talking about her policies and everything, how she felt with the election. And it was probably the first interview that I actually watched of hers since the election. But it was really kind of eye-opening to watch her talk about all this stuff that she obviously knew what she was talking about. And then you go and you watch an interview with Trump, and it's very clear that he doesn't know anything that he's talking about.
Yeah. I love that she wrote a book too.
Yeah.
What happened? I want to read it. Just when after the Las Vegas shooting happened and everyone's we need it, then we need to talk about gun control, and they're it's not appropriate to talk. We're well, then when are we gonna fucking talk about it?
Yeah,
then when are we gonna talk about it? When?
The U.S. is probably I don't know, so you would probably have to fact check me on this, but we probably have more terrorist attacks and mass shootings in any other country.
Listen to this. And I know I'm a broken record because a lot of people have said this. Maybe you've heard this.
Probably.
There was a huge mass shooting, in the 90s or something, or whenever in Australia. They banned mass weapons altogether. Mm-hmm. Guns. Hasn't been a mass shooting.
Super strict.
Super strict gun laws.
And I'm not that.
And you said this last night at dinner.
I'm not about
anti-gun.
I'm all for the Second Amendment rights, right to bear arms.
Right. The Constitution.
All for that.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not for having these assault rifles and having these stocks that you put on a gun that makes it basically an automatic weapon. Nobody needs an automatic weapon.
What do you need that for?
What do you need an automatic weapon besides war?
Unless you were a wanted man and
But even still.
But even then, no, there's no reason. Unless you were, you're gonna fight off single-handedly an entire army of people, then no, you don't need those weapons. And I can't think of one situation as to why you would have to fight off an army of people.
Exactly. I get rifles, non-automatic rifles for hunting.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
All for that. Automatic weapons in war. I get that.
Right, but you keep those when you were in the military, using them in war.
But you don't need a gun case that has 46 different types of guns with all these different types of bullets that it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And it's shown, like, we have just constant shootings.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done.
Yeah, like, we shouldn't be able to get, and then there's the argument, okay, well, if we just make them illegal, just like we made drugs illegal, people are still going to find a way to get them.
Stop manufacturing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need to keep manufacturing AK-47s.
No. Yeah.
Or these big rifles.
Well, and I'm from a family that didn't hunt. My dad is a very metrosexual man and wears his designer jeans and his polo shirts. That's not really metrosexual, but his designer clothes. And I never knew of him putting on camo and going hunting, but my oldest brother did. And now my youngest brother, they go hunting. And my youngest brother, who is my baby brother, owns multiple guns. And while I was in town, you were with me and Thomas when we were at the farm last. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, his girlfriend was like, well, I was he taught me how to shoot a skunk or something. Or that she went and like shot a skunk with his gun. And it just like, I'm from America and I'm from a gun thing. And I'm just like, what if something happens? Like, what do you mean you're just shooting a gun?
Yeah. Like I
just think that's such a mistake waiting to happen.
Like, I would feel much safer if I had like just a small gun in like my nightstand. Like, that would make me feel safer because I live on the edge of a not so good neighborhood, and if somebody could get into my house, they could get into my house.
Yeah, right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like, rock window.
Yeah,
done.
They really could. Yeah.
But I don't need a gun case with an automatic weapon or a two-handed rifle, or we don't need to keep manufacturing these things. And if you cut the supply, then the demand is going to drop.
Well, and that's what I was saying was I didn't understand, because I was like, well, Thomas, these people can get automatic rifle or weapons and still say, well, they're using them for hunting. He goes, Mackenzie, you can't use this for hunting. It ruins the meat. And I went, oh. I said, then what do people have them for? He's like, exactly. And I'm like, oh my God, what kind of country do we live in? And here's the thing too, is it's the people that are like, don't you dare take a knee at a football. We support our troops in our government, because the military is part of the government. Like, that is a government run thing. So we support our troops in the military. But then those are the same people that turn around and say, well, don't take my guns away just in case capital martial law comes in, and then I need to fight the government.
And then it's the same people that fly Confederate flags.
Right.
Or that have like the stickers on their cars, and it's like,
what?
No, you're flying a flag that was literally anti-American.
Yeah, like exactly. I think the same thing, because it confuses me so badly when these people are like, when they're literally like, let's it just doesn't blow. It just blows my mind. Like, don't you dare take a knee at the national anthem. We support our troops.
And then I saw a picture of veterans taking a knee during
because they agree that what we're trying to say is
there's something wrong.
There's something wrong,
and we need to fix it.
And we're tired of this racist oppression.
And because we love our country, we're gonna say we don't stand for this and literally take a knee.
Right.
And we should be allowed to do that.
We should be allowed to do that. It's the land of the free, the home of the brave.
Exactly.
Right? Yes, because of the brave. Yes, they're fighting for us. But also, last time I checked, we've been getting our nose stuck in other people's business for years. we're at war for God knows what anymore. It's called war on terror. Mm-hmm. But then, like, I mean, yes, things are happening, but a lot of terrorism is happening in our country by Americans.
And also, terrorism is not something that we can fight. It's an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't fight people's ideas.
Yeah, and you can't fight religion either.
I mean, it's the same thing with, like, communism.
Yeah.
Communism fought people that had different ideas, and that creates a social system where it's just
corrupt. Yeah. It's so it makes your brain hurt because you're like, well then, okay, you want your gun so bad because you're afraid the government's going to turn on you, but I thought you love the government, Trump. What? What? Huh?
And it makes me sad because there are so many people out there that are racist and anti-Muslim and homophobic, and it's just it's saddening because the world is getting smaller, mm-hmm. and so we are around those people that are different from us, and that scares a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But we're all still humans. Mm-hmm. It's just the skin.
I know. I had an acting teacher one time say when I was really little, she said, well, in our races, and she goes, and you know what, I'm not going to say, and I remember I quoted her on this at a camp one time that I taught at, and all the kids were like yes, when I said it, but she said, she was like, in, you know, all of our different races, and then she goes, I'm sorry, no, one race, the human race. And that's what I said. And all these kids were like, yes! And I'm just like, it's so true, though. Like, take away, like, we're both white, but you have blue eyes, bluish eyes. I don't. Mine are brown. That's, like, discriminating against me because my eyes are brown.
Exactly.
But then there's also, it's just like...
I mean, there are the bad eggs.
There are the bad eggs that ruin it for everybody, yeah.
But there's bad eggs everywhere.
Right.
And a lot of people just want to focus on those bad eggs. And, like, yes, there are Muslim people who are extremists.
Yeah.
But there's also the same Americans who are extremists.
There's also Christians that or people that claim to be Christian that are extremists. The KKK.
Exactly.
They claim to be Christian. A look at the Westboro Baptist Church. Mm-hmm. Claim to be Christian. And they're boycotting funerals. I mean, and saying it's a good thing you're dead, and like,
yeah,
like, no, it's such a. It's like in Hamilton when he says, what does Burr say? He says, something is. They say something is like confusing, or something is a corrupt idea or something, and then he goes, yeah, and so is independence. Like, we have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what he said. It's like, independence is a very complex, or democracy is all of it. It's very complicated, and it's almost like someone's up there waiting for us to just kill each other off. Because we just are at this point. We're just fighting everybody that's different than us. And like, I literally had a family member tell me the other day that they didn't vote for Obama. They voted for the Republican Party. I guess it was McCain in 2008. Voted for him, and they didn't vote for Obama solely because he was black. And I was like, I don't know what family you grew up in, but I grew up in the same family, and I never voted. I was never racist. That is taught. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard racial slurs around me, and I think I've just always really thought really strongly for who I am as a person. I think I just have a really big heart, and I never discriminated against someone because of their skin color, because I was discriminated against because I was fat, or I was or I couldn't sing, or like little things like that. I was always discriminated against because of little things like that. So I knew what it was like to be different. So I didn't do what all those other people did. And like, I'm discriminated against because I'm bipolar. And, you know, like, I think that's what made me different than a lot of people around me growing up. Like my friends that, like, I have friends that still you say words with hard R's. And then they say, well, there's a difference between that person and a black person. And I go, okay, that saying is the most outdated thing I've ever heard. You know how many times I heard that growing up in Sin Law? Well, there's a difference between a black person and then they would say that other word. And I would be like, and there's a difference between you and white trash? What is that? What? There's no...
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? It's just so stupid. And it's like...
And yeah, I personally have been really lucky that I've not had to really deal with much discrimination. But it's still upsetting.
Yeah.
That people are just so hateful.
Well, you're empathetic. You have a big heart too. Literally, don't you actually like have a big heart, and that's why your heart's irregular or something? Yeah, isn't that like a literal issue you have? But yeah, that's yeah. And I don't understand people that I don't understand people that are sexist or racist or prejudiced or anything like that. I don't understand it because those people must have really never, ever have been discriminated against. Like, when I sit here and I think, like, well, I can't judge that person because I've been judged before, too. I at least try to think that. Or that's my foundation. Not to say I won't go see a show and judge the shit out of someone's acting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna judge a film. But those things are out there for us to judge. A person's skin color.
They don't get to choose to.
You don't choose that. The way someone's nose is, the way someone's even sexuality is, the way someone's metabolism. Like, someone might be fat because of their metabolism. Holla! But you know, like, some of us don't get to choose that, and also, like, some of us don't get to choose to be bipolar. But you know what? I can say this too, is like, I'm bipolar, but I can also be a very manipulative person. That's just my personality. They sit here and they say, like, all these people that are mental ill they can pass inspections to get guns. I was going to touch on this earlier. They can pass inspections to get guns, but they might be so manipulative. Like, they may be sociopaths. Like, sociopaths, like, look at Hitler. He ran a whole country. And he was a sociopath. He was convincing. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen him give a speech? Like, it's kind of creepy how
convincing he is.
He gives a speech.
Spoken.
Yes.
No, I've never actually watched it. I think I would be too freaked out.
Because I did a little 10-minute play this summer that was it was called The Spy, and I played this little kid that was in Hitler Youth, which was like this program that Hitler made in order to make like the younger generation grow up to be militaristic.
Wow.
And so, like, this whole story was like these two parents trying to figure out if I went to, like, rat my parents out. Because, like,
wow.
it's just
that's heavy.
Really dark play about parents going after their own children, and they even at one point went against each other, and I don't remember where I was going with this, but that it's just
him being convincing is
just him being convincing of, like, just he convinced an entire nation to go against themselves. And if you do that, then they're gonna spread out and be against, you know, other races like they were, and who's to say that's not ever going to happen again?
Yeah.
Who's to say it's not happening now? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. But then there's the 75% rest of us that's going, the majority of us, the popular vote, is sitting here going, nope, can't say that. I even did the Me Too thing on Facebook, and when I was 14 and I told people, the few people I told, and then it spread around that I got raped, no one believed me because it was by someone that was close in age with me, which is crazy. Isn't that weird to think? Oh, well, he was 16 and you were 14, so it wasn't. So who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like not who cares, but like,
it's not important.
It's not important. Well, at least it wasn't your dad or your uncle or whatever it may be, or a big age gap, you know. It's weird to think about.
Yeah. And I think we have probably pissed off a lot of people.
So too.
If they stuck around this long.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah. If they stuck around this long, kudos to you. Comment below and let us know if you did, because this is kind of more of our style nowadays, since we're done with all the dumbness.
We have opinions now.
We're not afraid to make them. And I have 7 tattoos now.
I'm loud and proud.
Loud and proud. And like, and we just started off with theater, and we ended up with like gun control and like policy.
Anti-Trump.
Anti-Trump.
Everybody hates us now.
I know. I did have one fan get in a fight with me on Snapchat one day because she was like making all this stuff about Trump, and this was like before he was elected, and I was like, why? Because she was like grown, and I was like, why? It's just why? And she was just like, he's mad. She was from Texas, and I was just like, God. Feel free to block me. I pulled an Eminem before Eminem pulled it. I was like, you don't have to be my fan. I'm just kidding. You can still enjoy what I do and not. Like I said, one of my best friends is a Trump supporter. You want to be. Just be. But be a human. Be a human and have reasons to back it up. Tell me why. Like, I have more balls for the people that say, I'm not for Trump, or I'm for Trump. And yes, I also agree with him that a man and a woman that's what marriage is. I have more respect for those people, even though I don't respect that idea, that ideology. I have more respect for those people than the people that say, well, I don't agree with him socially, but like, it was better than Clinton. No, you're an idiot.
You're just lying to yourself.
Yeah, just... who knows? Maybe, like, we'll get contacted by the CIA after this. And
Shut up!
I'll be like, stop talking! Put your mouth where...
Trump comes knocking on our doors. Y'all made me angry.
But please, can you be on the podcast? I have questions. I love how we didn't talk about mental illness this time. I am more than okay with that, because we talked about everything else, like the people that don't have minds on Mackenzie in the Mind, aka the Trump supporters. I'm just kidding. The joke's dead. I'm done.
We already pissed off enough people, but
yeah. So
I guess that's what post-millennials do. We just piss everyone off.
I guess so. I guess generation, what are we, Z?
Z.
Generation Z just loves to piss everyone off. So those of you who are want more of us, if you do, go check out videos of us on the main channel. And all of Cullen's stuff and everything else will be linked below, including a link to the script of Mousetrap. If anyone's bored enough to go read it and tell us what they think. So, okay, I'll let Cullen sign off.
All right, bye.
All right, thanks for watching. Wait, okay, no, now it's your turn.
Don't be bad people.